First Contact and False Promises. The crystalline ships appeared in Earth's orbit on a quiet Tuesday morning in 2157. Their arrival changed everything we thought we knew about our place in the universe. The Jitari, as they called themselves, came bearing promises of technological advancement and interstellar cooperation. Their ambassador, Valseth, spoke of a grand alliance of species, of shared knowledge and mutual growth. General Sarah Chen watched the proceedings from her office in the Pentagon's subterranean levels. Her dark eyes narrowed as she studied the aliens' body language. 20 years of military intelligence had taught her to read between the lines, and something about the Jitari's promises felt too good to be true. "They're offering us everything we've ever dreamed of," her aide, Captain Marcus Rodriguez, remarked as they reviewed the proposed Interstellar Commerce Treaty. "Exactly," Chen replied, tapping her finger on the holoscreen. "When has anyone ever offered humanity everything without wanting something much more valuable in return?" The treaty promised faster-than-light technology, medical advancements, and access to the Galactic trade network. In exchange, the Jitari requested only the right to establish research outposts on Earth and its colonies. The world's governments, eager for advancement, signed without hesitation. But Chen had other plans. Within days of the treaty's ratification, she initiated Project Oracle, a classified program to monitor every aspect of Jitari activity on Earth. She recruited the brightest minds in quantum physics, artificial intelligence, and xenobiology, building a shadow network that operated beneath the veneer of cooperation. Dr. James Morrison, lead scientist of Project Oracle, discovered the first red flag 3 years into the treaty: the energy signatures from their research outposts. He explained during a secure briefing, "They're not consistent with simple research facilities. They're scanning something general, something deep within Earth's crust." Chen's network expanded. Hidden sensors were planted. Jitari communications were intercepted and decoded, and slowly, a disturbing pattern emerged. Earth wasn't the first world the Jitari had approached with promises of advancement. They had done this before, dozens of times, across hundreds of worlds. The breakthrough came from Dr. Yuki Tanaka, a geologist who had been studying unusual mineral formations near a Jitari outpost. "These formations," she explained, her hands trembling as she presented her findings, "they're not natural. They're remnants of an extraction process, the same process I'm detecting building up around our planet." Chen took her findings to a select committee of world leaders. The evidence was clear. The Jitari weren't allies. They were prospectors, laying the groundwork for something far more sinister. But rather than confront them, Chen proposed a different strategy. "We play along," she told the committee. "We accept their gifts, learn their technology, but we prepare. We build our defenses in secret, using their own advancements against them. When they finally show their true intentions, we'll be ready." The Sentinel Initiative was born that day. While the world celebrated its new alien allies, underground facilities were constructed across the solar system. Engineers reverse-engineered Jitari technology, improving upon it in ways the aliens never anticipated. Quantum physicists developed stealth systems that could hide entire fleets. Military personnel trained in secret, preparing for a war they hoped would never come. 10 years passed. The Jitari continued their charade of friendship while their network of research outposts grew. They never suspected that each new facility they built was monitored. Each piece of technology they shared was studied and enhanced. Each communication they sent was intercepted and analyzed. In her office, now deep within humanity's hidden command center on Mars, General Chen reviewed the latest intelligence reports. The Jitari fleet movements had changed. More ships were arriving daily, taking positions that any military strategist would recognize as attack formations. "They're almost ready," she told her assembled staff. "The extraction patterns match what Dr. Tanaka predicted. Within months, they'll begin stripping our planet of its resources, just as they've done to countless others." But humanity was ready. Hidden shipyards throughout the solar system had produced a fleet that rivaled anything the Jitari could deploy. Quantum shield technology, developed in secret, would render their weapons ineffective. And most importantly, humanity had something the Jitari would never expect: the element of surprise. As Chen watched the latest Jitari ships arrive through quantum-enhanced telescopes, she allowed herself a small smile. Let them think they had fooled humanity. Let them believe their plans were proceeding undetected. The trap was set, and when it sprung, the Jitari would learn why it was a terrible mistake to underestimate humanity. The Silent Sentinel program. Deep beneath the surface of Europa, Commander Maya Patel stood before a massive window overlooking humanity's greatest secret. The Phantom Fleet stretched before her, hundreds of ships hidden within the moon's icy depths. Each vessel represented a masterpiece of human ingenuity, combining stolen Jitari technology with human innovation in ways their supposed allies never imagined possible. Quantum core initialization complete on the Hyperion, Commander, reported Lieutenant Sarah Wong, her voice echoing through the command center. All systems are operating at 127% of Jitari baseline efficiency. Maya nodded, pride swelling in her chest. The Hyperion was their newest vessel, a destroyer-class ship that could match 3 Jitari cruisers in combat. But its true power lay in its ability to become virtually invisible, not just to sensors, but to reality itself. Dr. Victor Santos, the brilliant physicist behind the quantum stealth technology, approached with his ever-present holographic display. "The latest test results are extraordinary," he said, his eyes bright with excitement. "We've managed to phase shift the entire vessel out of normal spacetime for up to 72 hours. The Jitari won't just be unable to detect our ships, they'll be unable to even comprehend their existence." The Sentinel program had evolved far beyond General Chen's initial vision. What started as a defensive initiative had become humanity's secret renaissance. Teams of scientists and engineers worked tirelessly, taking apart every piece of Jitari technology, understanding it, improving it, and then creating something entirely new. In a nearby training facility, Colonel Jack Harper watched as his special operations team ran through another simulation. The soldiers moved with inhuman precision, their neural-enhanced reflexes allowing them to react faster than any natural being. Their phase-shift armor, reverse-engineered from Jitari personal shields, made them virtually invulnerable to conventional weapons. "Team Alpha, hold position," Harper commanded through the neural link. The soldiers froze instantly, their movements synchronized perfectly. "Execute Operation Shadow Step." In perfect unison, the entire team shifted partially out of phase with normal space, passing through solid walls as if they were mist. This was the true power of the Sentinel program, not just matching Jitari technology, but transcending it. "They're still underestimating us," Harper muttered to himself, reviewing the latest intelligence reports. The Jitari continued to treat human military exercises as primitive displays, never realizing that what they saw was merely a facade. At the Quantum Communications Hub, Dr. Aisha Khan monitored the vast network of stealth satellites that had been placed throughout the solar system. Each one was capable of intercepting and decoding Jitari transmissions while remaining completely undetectable. The latest intercepts were troubling. "Commander Patel," she called out, her fingers dancing across the holographic interface. "I'm picking up increased communications between their fleet. They're using their highest encryption protocols." Maya moved to her station, studying the decoded transmissions. "They're accelerating their timeline," she observed. "Something's made them nervous." In her office on Mars, General Chen received the same information. She opened a secure channel to all Sentinel program facilities across the solar system. "Initiative Alpha," she announced, her voice calm but firm. "All units begin final preparation sequences. The Jitari are moving faster than anticipated." Throughout the hidden facilities, activity increased. Ships were brought to full combat readiness, crews ran final system checks, and soldiers prepared their equipment. Decades of preparation were about to be put to the test. On Earth, the G-Terry ambassador Val Seth attended another diplomatic function, smugly confident in his species' superiority. He had no idea that beneath the polite smiles and diplomatic niceties, humanity had built an army that could reduce his entire fleet to quantum particles. In a secure meeting room, the world's military leaders gathered to review the final defense plans. General Chen's hologram addressed the assembly. The G-Terry believe they're dealing with a primitive species that barely understands their technology. When they make their move, they expect to face a handful of retrofitted ships and ground-based defenses. Instead, they'll face the most advanced fleet in the galaxy. Commander Patel stood on the bridge of the Hyperion, watching as her crew performed their final checks. The massive ship hummed with power, its quantum core pulsing with energy that would have seemed like magic to humanity just decades ago. "All Phantom Fleet vessels report ready, Commander," Lieutenant Wong announced. "Quantum stealth systems are operational. Phase shift weapons are charged. Neural networks are synchronized." Maya allowed herself a small smile. The G-Terry had taught humanity much about space warfare, but they had forgotten one crucial lesson from Earth's history. Never give your enemy time to prepare. Dr. Santos's voice came through the quantum comm. "Commander, we've detected unusual energy signatures from the G-Terry fleet. They're positioning their ships in a harvesting formation." "How long?" Maya asked, already knowing the answer. "At their current rate of preparation, they'll begin their resource extraction within 48 hours. Maya opened a channel to General Chen's command center. "General, the G-Terry are making their move. Request permission to begin Operation Phantom Strike." Chen's response was immediate. "Permission granted, Commander. Show them what humanity can do when pushed too far." Throughout the solar system, hidden facilities began to stir. The Phantom Fleet emerged from its secret berths, ships appearing from beneath the ice of Europa, within the storms of Jupiter, and from the dark side of Mars. Each vessel was a testament to human determination and ingenuity, each crew member ready to defend their home. The G-Terry had no idea that their carefully laid plans were about to collide with humanity's greatest deception. They thought they were dealing with primitives. They were about to learn just how wrong they were. Betrayal at dawn. The attack began at dawn, Earth time. G-Terry ships dropped their diplomatic pretenses as suddenly as they dropped their holographic camouflage, revealing weapon systems that had been hidden for years. Their crystalline vessels formed a complex geometric pattern above Earth's major population centers, energy beams lancing down toward the planet's surface. Ambassador Valseth's message played across all communication channels, his previously cordial tone replaced with cold superiority. "People of Earth, the time has come for you to serve a greater purpose. Your planet's resources are required for the continuation of our species. Resistance would be unfortunate." In her Mars command center, General Chen watched the energy readings spike across her quantum displays. Status of civilian evacuation protocols. Underground shelters report 97% occupancy, her aide reported. Operation Underground is complete. Chen allowed herself a grim smile. For 10 years, they had been building vast underground cities, presenting them to the public as climate disaster shelters. The G-Terry had never questioned why a species would build enough underground shelter space for 90% of its population. "The G-Terry are deploying their resource extractors," Dr. Khan reported from her station. "Energy signatures match our projections exactly." "Send the signal," Chen ordered. "Execute Operation Phantom Strike." Throughout the solar system, humanity's hidden fleet shimmered into existence. The Hyperion led the charge, materializing directly through a G-Terry dreadnought's shields as if they didn't exist. Commander Patel stood on her bridge, watching as the enemy ship's crew frantically tried to understand what they were seeing. "All ships, weapons free," Maya commanded. "Show them what we've learned." The Phantom Fleet opened fire. Phase-shifted quantum torpedoes passed through G-Terry shields like ghosts, reintegrating with normal spacetime inside their targets. Ships that had seemed invincible shattered like glass. On Earth, Colonel Harper's Special Operations teams struck simultaneously at every G-Terry ground installation. Phase-shifted soldiers walked through walls and energy barriers, their neural-enhanced reflexes making them appear as blur to the facility's security systems. "This is impossible." Valseth's voice crackled across the command channel as reports of attacks flooded in. "Your species doesn't have this level of technology." "You gave us time," General Chen replied, broadcasting on all frequencies. "Time to learn, time to adapt, time to surpass you. That was your first mistake." The space above Earth became a battlefield unlike anything in human history. Phantom fleet vessels phased in and out of normal space, striking from impossible angles. G-Terry ships, their supposedly impenetrable shields useless against phase-shifted weapons, fell one after another. Dr. Santos monitored the quantum readings from his station on Europa. "Their ships are attempting to adjust their shield frequencies," he reported. "They're trying to adapt to our phase shift technology." "Let them try," Maya responded, directing the Hyperion through another attack run. "Execute pattern Omega. Show them adaptation works both ways." The Phantom fleet shifted tactics instantly, their neural-linked crews reacting as one. Ships that had been attacking with phase-shifted weapons suddenly switched to conventional armaments, but with a twist. Each shot was calculated to strike at precisely the frequency the G-Terry were adjusting their shields to match. Multiple G-Terry vessels attempting emergency FTL jumps, Lieutenant Wang reported. "Quantum nets are in position." The fleeing ships hit the hidden network of quantum disruptors that humanity had scattered throughout the solar system. Their FTL drives screamed in protest as they were forced back into normal space. In orbit around Mars, a massive G-Terry command carrier tried to coordinate a counterattack. Its efforts were cut short as the orbital defense platforms, hidden beneath holographic camouflage that mimicked Mars' natural satellites, revealed themselves and opened fire. "Sir," Dr. Khan's voice was urgent, "I'm detecting unusual energy readings from the larger G-Terry vessels. They're trying to initiate some kind of chain reaction in Earth's core." "This ends now," General Chen declared. She opened a channel to all Phantom fleet vessels. "Execute Operation Sunburst. Authorization, Chen Alpha 0. Throughout the solar system, hidden quantum arrays activated. The technology, reverse-engineered from the G-Terry's own research facilities, created a web of energy that encompassed the entire battle space. Within this web, human ships could move freely, but any G-Terry vessel that attempted to power its weapons found its energy systems temporarily phased out of normal spacetime. Ambassador Valseth's flagship, surrounded by the burning hulks of his fleet, received General Chen's final transmission. "You came to our world believing us primitive, believing we would be easy prey like so many others before us. Instead, you gave us the tools of our own salvation and the time to perfect them. Surrender now, or discover just how creative humanity can be when backed into a corner." The battle wasn't over. The G-Terrys still had ships hidden throughout the galaxy, and they wouldn't accept defeat easily. But as Maya watched from the Hyperion's bridge as Earth's defenders drove the invaders from their home system, she knew that everything had changed. Humanity had not just survived its first interstellar war. It had proven itself more than ready to take its place among the stars. And they were just getting started. Operation Starfall. The quantum communication burst arrived 3 weeks after Earth's victory. A desperate message from a distant star system, encoded in fragments of G-Terry transmission protocols. Dr. Khan spent 2 days decoding it in her lab on Mars. "They're calling themselves the Nexus," she reported to the assembled military command. "They're an alliance of species who survived G-Terry harvesting operations. They'd been watching our battle through quantum telescopes, and they're asking for help." Commander Maya Patel studied the star charts showing known G-Terry territory. They're harvesting dozens of worlds simultaneously. Earth wasn't an isolated incident. It was part of a larger resource-gathering operation. General Chen's hologram flickered as she addressed the council. The G-Tari will return to Earth with reinforcements, but now we have an opportunity to strike first, to help others and weaken our enemy at the same time. The decision was unanimous. Within days, the Phantom Fleet began to divide into strike groups, preparing for humanity's first faster-than-light military operation. The Hyperion would lead the main assault force, while Colonel Harper's special operations teams would coordinate with resistance movements on occupied worlds. Dr. Santos had modified their quantum drives using data captured from G-Tari ships. "We can use their own FTL network against them," he explained. "Our phase shift technology lets us slip through their detection grids unnoticed." The first strike targeted a G-Tari harvesting operation in the Proxima Centauri system. 3 massive extraction ships hung over an ocean world, their energy beams draining the planet's resources. The indigenous population, an amphibious species called the Merkai, had been reduced to hiding in the deepest trenches. "Phantom Fleet, execute jump sequence," Maya ordered from the Hyperion's bridge. Space twisted around them as 40 human ships translated into FTL. They emerged from quantum space directly among the G-Tari fleet, phase-shifted weapons already firing. The battle was brief but decisive. The G-Tari, still reeling from their defeat at Earth, were unprepared for humanity's new tactics. Within hours, the extraction ships were disabled, their crews captured, and their databanks stripped of intelligence. The Merkai emerged from their underwater sanctuaries to find their oppressors defeated. Their leader, Supreme Admiral Naya, welcomed the human delegation with a mixture of gratitude and wary respect. "You have done what we thought impossible," she told Maya through a translation field. "But the G-Tari's reach extends far beyond this system. They have been harvesting worlds for millennia." "Then it's time that stopped," Maya replied. "We're offering more than just liberation. We're offering an alliance and the means to fight back." As human scientists helped the Merkai adapt phase shift technology to their own ships, more distress calls arrived. The news of Earth's victory had spread through hidden quantum channels, inspiring resistance movements across dozens of systems. Colonel Harper's teams deployed across the galaxy, making contact with other surviving species. Each civilization had its own story of G-Tari betrayal, its own bitter experience of trusting the crystalline ships that appeared bearing false promises. The Avalon, Earth's newest carrier ship, became a mobile command center for the growing alliance. Dr. Khan coordinated intelligence from multiple species, building a complete picture of G-Tari operations for the first time. "They're not just harvesting resources," she reported during a strategic briefing. "They're using the extracted materials to build something massive in the galactic core, some kind of megastructure." General Chen studied the quantum scans. "Whatever they're building, they've been at it for thousands of years. Every harvested world, every betrayed species, has contributed to its construction." The war expanded rapidly. Human phase shift technology, combined with the unique abilities of their new allies, proved devastating against G-Tari forces. The Merkai's understanding of fluid dynamics led to improvements in quantum torpedo guidance. The crystalline Ixri, themselves a silicon-based life form, provided crucial insights into G-Tari biology. But the enemy was far from defeated. Deep within their territory, the G-Tari were mobilizing forces that had been dormant for centuries. Ancient warships, powered by technology far beyond what they had shown to Earth, began to emerge from hidden bases. Maya stood on the Hyperion's observation deck, watching as another liberated world's ships joined the growing Alliance fleet. Lieutenant Wang approached with the latest intelligence briefing. "The G-Tari are changing their tactics," she reported. "They're abandoning outlying harvesting operations, pulling back to defensive positions around the galactic core. Whatever they're protecting in there, they're willing to sacrifice everything to keep it." "Then that's where we need to go," Maya decided. She opened a channel to General Chen. "General, I think it's time for Operation Starfall." Chen's response was immediate. "Agreed. All fleet elements, prepare for core ward deployment. It's time we ended this, once and for all." As Maya returned to the bridge, She reflected on how far humanity had come. In less than a year, they had gone from defending their own world to leading a galactic alliance. But the hardest part still lay ahead. The G-Terry had spent millennia building something in the galaxy's heart, and they would not give up their great work without a fight. But humanity had learned well the lessons of preparation and patience. Whatever waited in the galactic core, Earth's defenders were ready to face it. And this time, they wouldn't be facing it alone. A new dawn. The galactic core blazed before them, its light distorted by the massive structure that the G-Terry had spent millennia building. The combined fleet of Earth and its allies held position at the edge of the core's gravitational influence, their sensors struggling to make sense of what they were seeing. It's like nothing we've ever encountered, Dr. Santos reported, his voice filled with awe. The structure appears to be drawing energy directly from the core itself. It's not just a machine. It's an artificial quantum matrix large enough to encompass an entire star system. The Hyperion's bridge was silent as the implications sank in. Thousands of worlds harvested, countless civilizations betrayed, all to build this impossible creation. General Chen's hologram flickered as she addressed the assembled fleet commanders. The Nexus Intelligence Corps has decoded more of the G-Terry data archives, she announced. What we're looking at isn't just a power source or a weapon. It's their attempt to transcend physical existence itself. Dr. Khan's analysis confirmed their worst fears. The G-Terry weren't simply conquerors. They were trying to evolve beyond their crystalline forms. Each harvested world had provided unique elements and energy signatures needed for their transformation. The betrayal of so many species had been merely a means to an end. Multiple G-Terry signatures detected, Lieutenant Wong reported suddenly. Massive fleet emergence. They're coming from inside the structure. The space around the core erupted with activity as the largest G-Terry fleet ever assembled emerged from quantum space. These weren't the ships they had faced before. These vessels were ancient, their crystalline forms twisted into shapes that defied normal spacetime. All ships, battle formations, Maya commanded. Execute Operation Starfall. Authorization Patel Omega-1. The combined fleet moved with practiced precision. Merkai ships dove through the quantum wake of the enemy vessels, their fluid dynamic drives allowing them to navigate the twisted space around the core. X-ray crystalline destroyers matched frequencies with their G-Terry counterparts, turning the enemy's own resonance against them. And at the heart of it all, humanity's phantom fleet unleashed everything they had learned. Ships phased in and out of reality, striking from impossible angles, their weapons enhanced by the combined scientific knowledge of a dozen liberated species. They're activating the structure, Dr. Santos warned. Quantum readings are off the scale. The massive construction began to pulse with energy, each wave distorting spacetime more severely. On its surface, the crystalline forms of thousands of G-Terry began to change, their physical forms breaking down into pure energy. This is their ascension, Maya realized. Everything they've done, all the worlds they've destroyed, it was all to escape physical form entirely. But something was wrong. The quantum readings became erratic, the carefully planned transformation beginning to destabilize. Dr. Khan's voice cut through the chaos. The structure, it's not just unstable, it's reaching critical mass. If it collapses, the quantum backlash will destroy everything in this sector of the galaxy. Colonel Harper's voice came through the comm. His special operations teams had infiltrated the structure during the battle. Commander, we found something. There are containment chambers here, thousands of them. They're storing quantum signatures, consciousness patterns of every species they've harvested. They're not just trying to ascend. They're trying to force every species they've encountered to ascend with them. Maya made her decision. Dr. Santos, can we use our phase shift technology to disrupt their transformation process? Yes, but we'd need to get inside the structure itself. And whoever does it, the quantum backlash would be fatal. Maya finished. Understood. She opened a channel to the entire fleet. All ships, focus fire on the Jitari fleet. Create us an opening. The Hyperion will handle the rest." General Chen's voice was soft but firm. "Commander Patel, Maya, there has to be another way." "There isn't, General, but we can make sure their grand ascension becomes something very different." She turned to her crew. "Plot a course directly into the structure's main energy matrix. Prepare to initiate a full quantum phase shift on my mark." The combined fleet surged forward, every ship fighting with desperate intensity to clear a path. The Hyperion accelerated, its quantum core pushed beyond safety limits as it drove toward the massive structure. Phase shift in 3, 2, 1. Mark. The Hyperion became ghost-like, passing through the structure's outer layers. Maya felt the ship shudder as the quantum energies tried to tear it apart. On her command screen, she could see the transformation process beginning to break down. "Quantum phase shift reaching critical levels," Dr. Santos reported. "The structure, it's beginning to collapse, but something's happening to the stored consciousness patterns." The structure's energy matrix, disrupted by the Hyperion's phase shift field, began to change. Instead of forcing ascension, it was releasing the stored patterns, but not as the Jitari had planned. The consciousness signatures of countless species merged with the quantum field itself, creating something entirely new. "All ships, fall back," Maya ordered as the Hyperion's hull began to break apart. "Get clear of the quantum event horizon." The combined fleet retreated as the massive structure collapsed in on itself. But instead of the devastating explosion they expected, there was a pulse of pure quantum energy. Where the structure had been, a new kind of space began to form, a bridge between physical reality and something else entirely. Days later, aboard the Avalon, the Alliance leaders gathered to understand what had happened. The Jitari fleet had been destroyed in the collapse, their forced ascension prevented. But they had created something unexpected. "The quantum bridge is stable," Dr. Santos reported. "It's not just a doorway to another state of existence. It's a new form of life itself. The combined consciousness patterns of all those species, including the Jitari, have created a new plane of existence. Not an escape from physical form, but a bridge between the physical and the quantum." Maya had survived, the Hyperion's quantum shields barely holding long enough to phase them out of the collapse zone. She stood with General Chen, watching the swirling quantum energies of the bridge through the Avalon's observation deck. "So in the end, they achieved their goal of transcendence," Chen mused, "just not in the way they planned." "And they gave us something more valuable than ascension," Maya replied. "They gave us unity. Every species they tried to destroy is now part of something greater, something that bridges all forms of existence." The Alliance fleet regrouped around the quantum bridge, ships from dozens of species working together to understand and protect this new phenomenon. The war was over, but humanity's journey was just beginning. In their attempt to force evolution, the Jitari had instead sparked a true transformation, not through dominance and destruction, but through the combined potential of all the species they had tried to subjugate. And humanity, the species they had dismissed as primitive, had been the key to unlocking that potential. As Maya looked out at the ships of the Alliance, she smiled. The stars didn't seem quite so distant anymore. They had faced extinction and emerged stronger, not just as a species, but as part of something far greater. The galaxy was entering a new age, and humanity would help guide the way. After all, that's what humans did best: turn endings into beginnings and find hope in the darkest of spaces.